So the second question leads off with you, Carlos, kind of building off the first one. So, like, what will you or would you do specifically to address these disparities that exist in the city?
I think that our councilman is here, and I think that he could attest that although we have what looks like large budgets, they're shoestring budgets, and we need to do the best we can with what we have. So what we need to work on is continuing to grow our economy, and in turn, we start moving some of those funds back into the community. I can't speak to the budget of the city. I can speak to the budget of the state and the strides that we make to make sure that it's fair for everybody. So the first thing we did was make sure that we addressed the car tax situation to make sure people have more money in their pocket, and therefore your hard-earned money, you decide what you do with it. So as you have disposable income, you'll dispose of it as you wish. As a state, we will look to continue to cut areas, take away arcane lords, and do what we need to make sure that the state aid, whatever we can give back to the cities and towns, is there. And more importantly, a lot of my focus has been on education. So if we can make sure that the kids have education, that we can fund after-school programs, we know that if kids have a safe place after school, then they're going to be less likely to do crime or do things within the city, and more importantly, we're moving them forward. So that's where I would spend the majority of any disposable income in the youth, and making sure that they have additional after-school programs.
All right, we've got 30 seconds left.
I can't drop the mic yet.
Okay. All right. Jonathan, the floor is yours.
So, I disagree with Carlos in the premise he says that, we're on the state end, so we can't really make any changes to how cities operate. When you make state law, you can affect the cities and towns. So I think we should propose legislation and craft legislation that will change the way the state and the cities hire. Everyone knows there's this mentality of, I know somebody. Well, what if you're not connected? Some of these jobs are probably already filled before they even go public, because somebody knows somebody, they recommend them, and it's already happened. People in minority communities are less likely to have those connections, and I think looking at the way the cities and states hire is definitely something we can do to remedy that more specifically. In regards to finding more funding, it's always, everyone always thinks that it's more funding, but it's not always more funding. It's running programs more efficiently, taking the time to craft legislation, not just, here's what I'm going to do because it looks good, it sounds good, bam. No, we need to think about these issues. We need to have hard conversations, take the time to examine the problems and say, what can we do? And it's not enough for me just over here to say, this is what I would do, because ultimately, I'm going to be your representative. I have ideas, I have certain policy leanings, but then again, you are the voters, you elect. If we want democracy to work, we need every part of the system to be working the way it should.
30 seconds.
And the fact that you guys are here is great, because you're taking the time to become more informed. But, look at the turnout. We need more people to get engaged. We need people to back communities that feel marginalized, to say, this is your government too, you can show up, you have to show up.